Greetings, fellow flippers! Today we're gonna talk about few fundamental things in House Flipper 2 architecture. First off, let's talk about parcels. There are houses for flipping and jobs for jobbing. In both House Flipper 1 and 2, we use Unity game engine to develop the game. In House Flipper 1, we use Unity scenes to create the parcels. And Unity scene is basically a bunch of game objects with components like mesh renderers, colliders, rigid bodies, or custom scripts. However, there are many steps and rules that are needed to make those levels work with the game we're making. And some of those rules are enforced by editor scripts, some are written down in our internal documentation, but many of them are just passed from the developer to developer by the bonfire after the dusk. Another thing, our level designers are very creative people. Yes, it's their job after all. But this creativity is a double-edged sword. If they wanted a piece of furniture or trash to look in a very specific way, just for this one level, they would do things that would surpass the realm of imagination of our programmers. And you do not want to do things that programmers do not anticipate. It has consequences. In House Flipper 2, we make things a little bit differently. We've created our own custom format for parcels, and we work on them in the game itself in what we call an architect mode or sandbox mode. It is similar to just playing House Flipper, but in this architect mode you can also fly, and editing walls is instantaneous, and there is no budget to worry about. It is much more restricted environment than Unity editor, but it is also a good thing because our level designers, if they do weird things, but it works, they can be pretty confident that it will also work in a game just fine. Because of this similarity to regular House Flipper gameplay, those tools are also quite easy and quick to pick up. As a matter of fact, we created those tools not only for our designers, but also thinking about you, our players. In this sandbox mode, you can create your own jobs, you can create your own houses, and you can share them with your friends, family, and total strangers online. Let's move to the topic number 2 on our agenda, the walls. In House Flipper 1, we had the concept of floors, and there were 3 of them, that is, the basement, the ground floor, and the first floor, and all of them were exactly 3 meters high. Walls were made of pillars. Yes, pillars. We had pillars for outer walls, which were 50 centimeters thick, and pillars for internal walls, which were 25. And they came in different variations. There were pillars from the floor to the ceiling, and there were also pillars to accommodate doors and windows. In House Flipper 2, we made things simpler and more versatile. All there is are 20 centimeter cubes with 6 different paintable surfaces. And that's it. You build walls with them, you build floors with them. Those floors from House Flipper 1, we don't have them anymore, so you can build your floors as high or as low as you want. You can have them on different levels, and you can build anything that it doesn't even have to resemble floors. Well, the general idea for House Flipper 2 in terms of customizing items is to have smaller amount of content that can be combined together
to create much more variation.
In House Flipper 1, items had few material slots, and you could, for each of those material slots, you could pick one of the options that were provided by the developer. In House Flipper 2, we also have those material slots, but this time the material can be chosen from one big shared library of materials like wood, stone, fabric, tiles, and so on. And we call those Materializers. To differentiate from Unity's concept of materials. Now you can use any materializer on any slot that accepts materializers of this type. For example, a bed frame can be made of wood or plastic, but you'd rather want pillows and sheets to be made of fabric rather than concrete, I suppose. By this approach, we can reduce the amount of resources we need to store on disk and in memory. Moreover, it is much easier to create matching items because they all have the same materials. Furthermore, if we add more items in the future, we can use existing materializers on them, and if we add new materializers, we can use them on any existing items that have material slots that accept those kinds of materializers. And walls. We also use materializers on walls. And ceilings and floors. It's all the same now. In House Flipper 1, color variations were also limited to how many of them our developers could churn out per item. And now, some materializers like neutrally colored wood or stone can have their color chosen independently of that materializer. And that allows us to provide much bigger color palettes or even custom colors if you think your taste is better than ours. At one point, we are planning to make those materializers a moddable content, so you can create your own and share them with your family, friends, and total strangers online. And it doesn't end on materializers and colors. Materializers can be also combined with patterns that can have up to 4 colors, and size, and rotation. And that's it for today's devlog. Thanks for tuning in, and we can't wait to see your awesome creations in House Flipper 2. Bye! Wait! There's one more thing. Speaking of your creations, it's not as far in the future as we have initially thought. Reserve the date. Write it down. Right now. 19th to 26th of June. On Steam Next Fest, we are releasing a demo version of House Flipper 2. It's going to be available only during the event, so do not miss it. Are you excited? We are excited and scared. Just a little bit. We'll also be streaming during the whole event. If you remember, previously Artek, our level designer, created a house from scratch and left it in rough construction stage. This time, we're taking care of the interior. We will be expecting you. So kindly please, be there.